Hi traders, Cam Mitchell here, founder of Trade With Me. Now you're about to see a video of a live trade that I did recently. And I just want to, before we go through, have a look at that trade, I just want to go through a couple of things just beforehand. Now firstly, I want to make sure that people realize that this is what's called a short-term trade. It's on a short-term chart, but I trade every type of chart. I've been a trader for over 23 years now, and I will trade any market on any time frame. I'll look at a weekly chart, daily charts, hourly charts, all the way down to 1 minute charts. So I want to make sure that you understand that professional traders don't limit themselves to a time frame. You can trade any market on any time frame. I'm trading as long as there's momentum in the market, and as long as there is momentum, I will stay in the market. The other thing is realize that I've been a trader for quite a while now, an experienced trader. I'm a full-time trader. And that doing these types of trades takes experience and takes time. So you might see some of these moves and you go, okay, well, I wouldn't take this trade. Well, that's great. You might be learning, you might be inexperienced, it might be a new market. So there's a whole learning process towards everything, and that's what's so exciting about trading. So I hope you enjoy the video. Remember, who's in control, and trade with the trend. Enjoy the video, and I hope to see you again soon. Hello traders, it's Cam Mitchell here. Just looking at crude oil at the moment. It's currently 12:25 a.m. In the morning on the 8th of June. I'll just show you down here. So it's the Thursday, the 8th of June, 12:25 a.m. So just waiting for the crude oil inventory announcement to come out. Usually comes out at 10:30 a.m. US time, which ends up being 12:30 a.m. Our time at night. So I'm just having a look at the market at the moment, and I can see just on the 15-minute chart, I've just done a little bit of analysis. I've got a high, a low. I'm just going to repeat this as well. I'm going to copy that across, and we've got a lower high here. I'm going to copy this across as well, and just pasting that. So at the moment, you can see very clearly we've got a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. We've actually got a little bit of a pullback here. So if, depending on what happens with this announcement coming out, it's probably looking more like a short scenario rather than a long, but we'll see what actually happens in terms of what happens on the chart. Now there's 3 minutes to go. I've got my countdown timer here. Now I usually trade 100 contracts on oil, so I'm just getting ready with that. Normally with these announcements, you can actually get quite significant bars in length, so I may actually have to change that number. So what I'll do beforehand normally is I'll go to my futures sheet here, and I'll say, okay, if I'm going to be trading 100 contracts, and the normal risk that I'm looking at, normal bar is around about 25 points. So I know if I'm trading with 100 contracts, I'm risking $25,000. In this case, it can be very easily double that. So let's just say we have minus 50. Let's just say we get a 50-point bar. That doubles my risk straight away on what I'm normally used to. So what I may end up doing, and we'll see what actually happens, but I may have to change the contract size to something like 75, maybe even 50 contracts. So I'll see how what it sort of looks like on the chart first. But as I said, I'm just waiting for this announcement to come out, and just looking what's happening. As we can see, the bars really are not doing much. What I like to do before a trade before a trade comes up, as you can see on these charts, the range of the charts, there's really nothing at the bottom. So if a bar does happen, it's going to be very close. So I like to sort of move these in this direction here.
2 minutes.
Okay, so there's my 2-minute warning. So in 2 minutes time is when the announcement will come out. So I'm just making sure that I've got everything ready at the moment. I've got my contracts there. Very small bars, very small bars. So the 15-minute, we've still got high, low, lower high, and a breaking of a low. So in order to really change this trend, we'd need to breaking this high here. Means the sellers would no longer be lowering their prices. But if we're going to be getting a short trade, we're going to be looking for a breaking of this low, because it means the buyers are not raising their prices. So just keeping an eye on what's happening at the moment. Still a minute to go. Usually with these announcements, for the first couple of seconds, you definitely stay away. It can be quite volatile. It can go up or down. No clear direction. I usually try not to try a shorter time frame too much on these sorts of announcements, unless it's a very clear pattern or a very clear bar. But we'll see what happens on there. You can see I've got my timer there. Just make sure it's all synced up. Got the date, got the current time. 34 seconds to go. Just waiting to see what is going to happen. Now, what I can tell already, as I said, this announcement's just to come out. We do have a very strong long-term moving average on here, which means long-term momentum is down. So we'll see what happens in terms of the pattern. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's a pretty strong reaction. So we'll wait for it. Obviously got to wait till the end of the bar before we're actually going to be looking at getting into anything. I can tell the bar length already is 57 points. I've got it down here, so that's pretty significant. Based on that scenario before, I'm already going to change the number of contracts. I'm going to change that straight away. I've got 34 seconds till the close of the bar. I'm going to change it to 50 contracts. And if it stays at that area there, it's currently 72. It's a pretty significant bar. Let's have a quick look on the 15-minute. Okay, that's pretty significant. Okay, so it's going to be a closing off its fist, so I'm going to go short here. I'm going to sell at market.
Order filled.
Okay, so I've gone short here. Now I've got to move my stop to the high of the bar, which is what I've done there. Now I have these in dollars at the moment, so I'm just going to change that to points. Okay, so I've gone into profit pretty quickly, which is good. So up 22 points. I'm not going to let a profit turn into a loss, so I'm going to move my stop. I'm going to move it down to this area here. So at 46.83, I'm going to move it to 10 points in profit. So 46.73. Okay, great. That takes a lot of stress out of it. So I've actually locked in, no matter what on this trade now, I'm going to make 10 points. So that's locked in. So now I'm going to look at the bar and see what the bars actually tell me about this. Now, this has done a lot of price in a very short amount of time. So based on what I've seen in the past, these can come up very quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised if I did get taken out fairly soon after this. But I'm not going to make an opinion. I'm going to let the market tell me what's going to happen, or let the bars tell me. And I think this is the hardest part for traders. Normally, this is quite a good scenario because we've gotten in here, we've gone short, and we've gotten into profit straight away. So it does take a lot of that sort of, well, you know, wondering what's going to happen. Am I going to get into profit? What's actually going on? So this is a good scenario. But as we've said, when the market is volatile like this, when there's announcements, you've got to be careful of, they may go down quickly, but they can come up just as quickly as well.
2 minutes.
Okay. Also in here, what I've got, this is unusual, but normally I just have the points up here. You can see I've actually got the amount that I'm up as well. I usually don't have that on there. You don't want to be thinking about money at all during this situation. Really, it's all down to technicals. Okay, so we've come up here. Just going to have a look at this for a second. Okay, so the bar's gone down. We've come up to 50% of this bar. So that's now a point that it's tested and failed. So we can look at that as a reference point in the future now. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move my stop down to just above there. Okay, so I'm going to actually lock in some more profit. I know that it's found resistance there before and failed. So if it does go up near that level and go through it, there's a high probability it will actually keep going up through there. So I'm just going to keep watching this. This is definitely one of the things that I really like about crude oil. You can see in a very short amount of time, it's done $1.26 in range, which is a very, very strong range. And that's what happens when you get announcements with this. So you can see that's definitely gone up and hit that point and failed. So I'm not going to be too aggressive with my exit at the moment. I know I've got a level throughout here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm always looking at protecting my profit without being too close. So I now know that this is the high of the bar. So I'm going to move my stop down to just above the high of the bar here. Again, that's just locking in more profit each time. Now, the bars, of course, will tell me what is going on here, but this is a very strong bar. Continuing down, if we did actually reverse here, we may find resistance again at around about the 50% level, but I'm just going to let the market tell me, as I said, what's actually happening. This is there's a lot of panic, there's a lot of emotion going on at the moment. As you can probably hear in my voice, I'm really emotional. Not. It's pretty. This is kind of what trading is. It's very mechanical. You've just got to. It meets the criteria. Taking the trade. My opinion doesn't mean anything at the moment. It's 12:30 in the morning, and most people are asleep at this time, and I'm just looking to see the technicals. The technicals will tell me whether it's a trade and when to get out. Now, there's two scenarios that I've got here. We've done a large amount of price. I'm expecting very soon that we could find a little bit of a reversal. The human behavior aspect of this is always when this has done a lot of price, people think it's cheap, they come in. I could start to use this area as my next level as a stop because that's the high of the bar. So as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that down to just above this area here. I want to lock in as much profit as possible. Okay, and the bar here, it's already telling me that it's gone all the way down and it's actually closed up halfway through the bar. That's a very weak signal for the downside. Okay, this doesn't mean it's a buy opportunity or anything like that. It's just merely telling me that the buyers came in at the low and pushed the price up to here. Doesn't mean it's going to reverse. It just means to be alert. Now we also have on the other side here, this is a 5-minute chart. Let's have a quick look at the 15, and that's definitely done a lot of price there. Just going to watch this. I reckon this is very close to, especially if we close around about this area on the 5, could get a very strong bar up through here to take me out. Getting very close here. Just going to put it near the high of the bar. And I'm expecting very soon to get taken out here, especially with this bar over here, how it looks. Okay, so it's a fairly good sign for the downside there. It's closed poorly at the close of that bar, but we could still drift up to this level. More than happy at the moment to lock in, 50 plus points. It's a great trade. Definitely within 10 minutes to lock in that sort of point profit is really good. Definitely know a lot of traders here would be just very tempted just to get out. Just press the button, get out. That's what they want to do. But the job is that you have to get out based on a technical reason. And I mean, here's a great example here. We now have, you could have panicked throughout this area here, and it's now started to go back down again. So we can say that now this level here, it's gone up and found resistance there, come back down, gone up and found resistance there again, and come back down. So I'm going to move my stop now to this level here. And even more so, because if you look at the close here, we've now closed, and we've closed very poorly on that 5-minute bar. The bar is telling us that the buyers have come back in and closed higher. They haven't closed at the low. Again, this is not my opinion. It's not what I think or what I feel. The great thing about this is the bars are actually telling me what's going on. Okay, so it looks like this area here is 50, got about 52 points that I would be in profit if I got stopped out now. So I'm going to be looking at protecting my profit even more. You can see it's actually starting to slow. Instead of continuing down, we're actually going sideways. I don't want to be too aggressive here because we could actually have another move to the downside. It is very weak. But I also want to, if we do get a very strong move up, I'll wait to see what this bar tells me. But if we could get a very strong move up here, and I want to make sure I lock in that profit. Definitely seems to have found some support at this level here. Okay, you can see the bars now. We've got 2 green bars before this one, so that's telling us that the close is above the open. And just watching this bar here, that's a higher low. It means very, very short term here. This is a short term chart, but the buyers have raised their prices here. And now we have this sort of level around here. So with this sort of consolidation and the drop finishing, the panic might have stopped for a little bit and the buyers may come in. So the bars are definitely telling me over here we've done a lot of price on the downside. Had a couple of people say before when they're talking about short-term trading that it's scary or there's some it's an unusual thing, and this is the thing that I like about this sort of trading is that you either get stopped out or you get into profit and you make your profit or your loss very quickly. We've been in this trade for 15 minutes now, and the great thing is I'm not having to wait overnight. I'm not having to wait a couple of weeks or a couple of months. I'm sort of, the market is actually telling me straight away. And this is, we're just talking about the bars before. Isn't this fantastic? So bars are going sideways, and now we've got a red bar down here. We've got a lower high on the bar and a breaking of the low. So same thing again. I'm going to move my stop down. I want to lock in my profit to this area here. It found resistance there before. So let's see what this bar does here. That's closed very strong. It's gone, opened high, went all the way down to the low and closed above the open. That's why it was a green bar. Okay, this bar looks like it will tell us a lot here. We've had a bar here where it's tried to go down and actually closed high. We've now had another bar where it's opened high, come all the way down, and it looks like it's going to close near the open again. It's 2 bars in a row where it's closing very close to the open. So it's tried to go down. Very close to getting stopped out at a profit on this short trade, up 70 points at the moment. I'm not even going to talk about the dollar element. The dollar element is completely irrelevant. What is relevant is the amount of points that you've made and the amount of points that you lock in, whether you stick to the strategy and you don't get emotional about it. That's the whole thing. If you're thinking about points and you're thinking about what the strategy is and what the rules are, then it's just doing your job.
2 minutes.
Okay, very close here still. Trying, just going sideways. Again, this is another thing with crude oil, foreign exchange. When they do very significant moves in a short amount of time, they can consolidate and just go sideways after that. So I certainly want to make sure I lock in my profit, but I don't want to get stopped out too early because we could go sideways and then have another move down from here. So on this side here, we've got a minute to go, and we're very close to the open on the 5-minute chart. Just looking at the 15-minute chart, you can see we've done a lot of price there. We talked about this beforehand. We had a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a pullback, and then a very significant bar. So it's definitely done a lot of price throughout here now. I'm sure there's probably some of you traders out there right now thinking, oh, if only I'd actually just done 100 contracts instead of 50. If I doubled up on this one or those sorts of things. That's purely emotion, and that's why you're thinking about the money element, and you just can't think about the money element. We didn't know what this trade was going to do. No one knows what's going to happen. We can say there's a high probability, but the rule was, and this is what we said, if our bar is normally 25 to 40 points, well, this happened to be an 80-point bar, so we need to change our risk. So that's why I've halved the number of contracts that I'd normally trade, and that's just good money management, and that's what you have to do, because we don't know. It could have gone against us the other way, and then we would have gone, oh, gee, I wish I'd traded 50 instead of 100. It's all hindsight. Okay, this is looking, it's actually tried to go down again, and it's now closing up near the top of the bar. So just to make sure that we watch this. Okay, very strong high low here. We'll see what this bar looks like. But it's certainly looking like it's found support over here. A couple of points off getting stopped out. So I'm around about 71 points in profit at the moment. Okay, just watching this bar here. We've got a higher low at the moment. You can see all this area here is a bit of support. Okay, so that's closed definitely an opposite fifth. That's closed strong there, up near this level here. So this next bar will be very interesting to see. We've got a higher low already. Could actually come through and take out my stop loss. Well, it's not a stop loss now. It's now a profit stop loss because I'm in profit. Very close. Here we go.
Stop filled.
There we go. Okay, so got taken out of the trade. That was a pretty good scenario. I think I've locked in a pretty good profit there. And as you can see, that's all been done in 25 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much, guys. Speak to you soon.